Hey, it's Forecast Steve. On Sunday, severe weather is possible in portions of California and Florida. And early in the week, heavy rain and flooding is possible in California in association with an atmospheric river. Let's take a look to see where the greatest impacts will be. Let's first begin by looking at the risk for excessive rainfall leading to flash flooding. As shown on this excessive rainfall outlook from the Weather Prediction Center for Sunday through Monday, there is a relatively large area of slight to moderate risk across a large swath of California. There is even a small high-risk area in southern coastal California. In the swath of moderate risk along the coast, numerous flash flood events are likely. And in the small area of high risk near the southern California coast, widespread flash flood events are expected. On Tuesday, a small area of slight risk remains over Southern California, with an area of marginal to slight risk shifting eastward to portions of Arizona. And on Wednesday, only a marginal risk for flash flooding is forecasted for portions of central to southeast Arizona. And by looking at this national blend of models forecast for the storm total rainfall, you can see that there is a large swath of at least 2 inches of rain across much of coastal California, with several pockets of 4 inches or more. You can also see areas of high rainfall totals predicted in southern Nevada and portions of Arizona, matching up well with the excessive rainfall outlooks previously discussed. And not only will this storm be a large rain producer, it will also be a large snow producer in higher elevations. Some areas may see several feet of snow accumulation. Strong winds will also be a threat, as shown on this national blend of models forecast for Sunday morning. Along the coastline and in higher elevations, there may be gusts exceeding 60 miles per hour, which is strong enough to cause wind damage. And as I advance to forecast time, you can see that the high winds move eastward as the day progresses. And by Monday morning, the majority of these strong winds are forecasted to come to an end in most areas, except for the higher elevations. Now moving on to the topic of severe weather. As mentioned earlier, severe weather will be possible in portions of central coastal California and a large portion of Florida. Getting into the specifics, you can see that there is a low-end threat for tornadoes from along central coastal California and from northern Florida through southern Florida. Although still a low-end risk, the greatest risk for tornadoes appears to be in portions of southern Florida. There is also a low-end threat of damaging winds in central coastal California and from northern to southern Florida. Finally, there is a low-end risk of large hail in portions of central and northern Florida, where steeper mid-level lapse rates are forecasted. Now returning to the topic of heavy rain and flooding in California, on Sunday morning a strong area of low pressure is forecasted to be off of the central California coast, with a band of heavy rain stretching along the associated cold front southward. An atmospheric river will be surging into the region, supporting the development of heavy rain and, in higher elevations, heavy snow. In this 850 millibar height and wind forecast for Sunday morning, a low-level jet is evident. This low-level jet will transport moist maritime air into the region. Some of these strong winds, which are located not too far from the surface, will mix down, resulting in strong wind gusts as previously mentioned. In this forecast of total precipitable water anomaly, you can see a plume of very moist air which has a moisture content that is well above average, with anomaly values exceeding 0.7 of an inch in many locations. 24 hours later on Monday morning, the plume of very moist air associated with the atmospheric river will be surging into southern California, supporting heavy rainfall across the region. And finally, by Wednesday morning, the plume of moist air will be located near southeastern Arizona, supporting heavy rainfall there. Now returning to the topic of severe weather on Sunday, we are going to take a look at the overall storm environment. Unstable air is forecasted to be in place by early Sunday morning in Florida, and by early afternoon in coastal California, and by early afternoon in Florida, and by late morning in central coastal California. Strong deep layer shear is predicted, which will promote storm organization and even isolated supercell thunderstorms. And with any supercell storm that manages to develop, tornadoes are a possibility. Finally, let's quickly summarize the key points from the forecast. In California, heavy rain is expected along with the risk of flash flooding from Sunday through Tuesday. Strong winds are likely from Sunday through Monday, and in the mountains, from Sunday through Monday, Heavy snow will be possible with several inches to feet of accumulation likely in some locations. And severe weather is possible near the central California coast during Sunday afternoon with a threat of damaging winds or even a tornado or two. Moving on to Florida, severe weather will be possible across northern, central, and southern portions of Florida on Sunday. The greatest risk for severe weather will be in South Florida during the late morning hours. And for central to northern Florida, the greatest risk for severe weather will be during the afternoon and early evening hours. Across portions of southern, central, and northern Florida, the greatest threat will be damaging winds and even a tornado or two. However, in portions of central to northern Florida, there will be an additional threat of large hail. Thank you for watching my video. If you would like to see more videos like this one, please like it and subscribe.